Greetings, Acolytes. Today we'll be continuing down the rabbit hole that is the Rogue Trader ttrpg by Fantasy Flight Games. Specifically, we'll be talking about the largest supplemental book for the game, Into the Storm. Now, since it's a supplement, it's not required to play the game, and you can do an entire campaign without it, but there's some things in the book that might help contribute to your own game and enhance how it plays. Into the Storm being the largest supplement means it has something from every aspect of the game, from playable Xenos Races and alternative careers to new gear and even ship components. This book has something for everyone, and in the campaign I'm in, it's the one we use almost as much as the core rulebook. We'll go through the book by following its own table of contents, reviewing all the stuff in it and talking about how it could be used to enhance your own campaign. First things first, new character creation options for humans. There's a few new homeworlds to look at: frontier worlds, which are part of the Expanse, newly colonized with the Imperium; Footfallen, meaning you come from the Footfall space station at the edge of the Expanse, where every ship passes coming in and out of the Expanse. There's fortress worlds like Cadia, where war was your entire life. There's battle fleets even, where you were born into the Navy and have spent your entire life serving aboard one of these god machines. You could also have been born into a penal colony, forced to pay for the sins of your parents, or maybe you were the child of a guard. Or maybe you want to be a child of destiny, descended from a rogue trader dynasty of heroes and legends. For new birthrights, there's a whole plethora of options as well, with subtypes for each of the three. Mind you, since these ones provide more special bonuses, they do come with an upfront XP cost. There's the Fringe Survivor, someone who is born into the outskirts of the Imperium with hardly any more connection to it than being human. Those of unnatural origin, people but not people, things made in the shape of man. And then there are those in service to the Golden Throne, who spend their lives toiling away in the Emperor's name. Alongside this, there's new lures to the Void. Again, you have to pay XP for these, but they're better than the normal ones. There's the Crusade, going off to the endless sea of black to spread the light of the Emperor. Hunters set forth in search of their quarry, be they human or Xenos, or maybe being the target themselves. And then there are those in search of new horizons, seeking lost knowledge or discovering something entirely new. New trials, of course, because why not inflict new types of backstory suffering onto your character? You can embrace the darkness, steeping yourself in forbidden knowledge or carrying a dark secret of the universe. You could be a child of nobility with political rivals and those who look down on new blood to ennoble scene. Or you could be from a lost world, a forgotten dynasty, a rogue planet, beyond the edge of explored space. And what good character doesn't have motivation? Be it fear of some great horror, your loyalty to the Imperial Creed, or just for the thrill of living life on the edge. Into the Storm also adds an entirely new character creation option called Lineages. Like most of the backstory stuff, this also costs XP, but it doesn't add to the pre-existing character creation options. It's something completely new. This is basically an optional thing where you pick your character's historical lineage, if they have any, like a great general or the bastard of a high noble. And finally, for new general character creation stuff is actually for the party, about the dynasty's warrant of trade. Specifically, determining how or why the dynasty got it, which defines the profit factor in ship points the party starts with. Now to continue on to one of the biggest things this supplement adds, the playable Xenos Races. Into the Storm adds 2 playable Xenos Races with alternative careers for both, the Orcs and the Kroot. Before I talk specifics about each one, I should mention that since you are playing an Imperium faction, or at least Imperium adjacent, that most NPCs will not be friendly to you, to say the least. Alongside that, Xenos characters come with their own special character creation specific to each race. Up first we have the Kroot. The Kroot, for those not in the know, are a vassal race of the Tau Empire, but they can be found in the service of many a rogue trader. A race of warriors and cannibals, they can be very unnerving in-universe, but this does make for some very fun roleplay. Kroot creation is determined by what special strain of Kroot the player chooses to be from. Kroot's special thing in lore is very much a you are what you eat thing, meaning that in lore they gain traits and abilities from what they eat. While you don't get this full ability in-game, you do get special abilities based on what strain of Kroot you are. The normal Kroot career is that of the Kroot mercenary. In simple terms, you are playing as a gun for hire by the rogue trader, there to ensure their safety and remove threats. Even more so than the Archmilitant, because the Archmilitant is in a leadership position. The Kroot doesn't care for that kind of thing. The Kroot is just a warrior. Their entire career path is nothing but skills and talents for stalking prey and killing it. Up next is the Orcs. Everyone's favorite big, green, angry mushrooms just here for a good time are also added as a playable race in this supplement. Due to how hard it is to get Orcs to work with humans, especially long-term in a civilized environment, it is rather difficult to roleplay an Orc. But if you can make it work, playing as an Orc can be quite fun. For Orc character creation, you pick which clan you came from Snakebites to Bad Moons. From there it's decided what part in Orc society the character played. From an odd boy to a Driva. The main Orc career is as a freebooter. Basically an Orc pirate, and honestly one of the closest things to a normally civilized Orc. In-universe, freebooters only care about getting more cool stuff, so as long as the party brings them back enough cool treasure, they'll definitely be happy to offer their services. The Orc career is similar to the Archmilitant, being a combat-focused career with lores and skills revolving around it, and not just from being a warrior, but also as a semi-leader position. Alongside the new species to play as, we also get one of the main reasons to get the supplements: alternative careers. Alternative careers do not replace the main careers entirely, but allow players to take their characters' careers in new directions. Certain alternative careers have certain main career requirements, and I'll list those as I go. First up, the Acquisitionist, requiring a Seneschal to be rank 3 or above. To an Acquisitionist, everything has a price, be it in coin, lives, or favors. Acquisitionists are able to get their hands on basically anything, even if it's via questionable means. They are the devil's bargain, as making a deal with one is something many will come to regret. Augmeticists are people who have an addiction to cybernetic enhancement. Anyone can become one at rank 2 or above, except for Xenos, Explorators, and Missionaries. Augmeticists' love for cybernetic enhancement to experience the world in new and exciting ways is supposed to make them friends and enemies of the Mechanicus. As they appreciate someone wanting to remove their limbs, they believe Augmeticists do it for the wrong reasons. Up next, the Calixian Privateer, requiring a rogue trader of rank 2 or higher. Like the privateers of old on Terra, these are sanctioned mercenaries by the Imperial government to go and take out threats and wage war how they see fit, though the privateer's patron is not always the Imperium as a whole, but rather a specific group within it. Maybe Battlefleet Coronas can't afford to send their own fleets, so they send the privateer. Or maybe the Mechanicus wants their trade routes watched and patrolled. At the end of it all, the only thing the privateer cares about is how much they get paid and how much loot they get to keep. The Drusian adherents are a group of religious fanatics who pledge themselves to an unending crusade against the enemies of the Imperium. Anyone can become one at rank 1, except for Astropaths, Explorators, and Xenos. Drusian adherents follow the teachings of Saint Drusian by taking action. They are the embodiment of actions speak louder than words, as rather than simply praying over scripture, they chant it on the battlefield, actively trying to get into fights and spread the will of the Imperium. A Voidmaster Special at ranks 4 or above, the Flight Marshal. As Voidmasters are known as pilots, it should be no surprise that some of them go on to be the best of the best. This alternative career should only be considered if the ship the party flies has a fighter bay, so as to get the most out of what it offers. Now for a more exotic one, we have the Genitor, an Explorator exclusive at ranks 3 or above. Genitors are members of the Mechanicus who prefer biological enhancement over cybernetic, granting them the ability to modify their body extensively. Due to their enhanced knowledge of biology and genetics, they also get a ton of knowledge on Xenos and other unusual creatures. For the Arch-Militants, there is the Gland Warrior at ranks 4 or above. To become a Gland Warrior is to become something more than a baseline human, not a space marine, and the creation of a Gland Warrior is said to be more of an art form to each individual, rather than a definitive process. To liken them to a Spartan from Halo would be more accurate, though we're talking Spartan 3s and 4s here. To give a little love to the Xenos, we have the Kroot Shaper, for ranks 3 or above. Kroot Shapers are like shamans in Kroot society. While not full-blown psychers, they do have their own rituals. Shapers also get bonuses to actual leadership rather than just being a well-honed blade for their master. For those with larger ambitions, there is the Legend of the Expanse, for anyone from rank 6 or higher, assuming they are skilled and rich enough to take it. After all, you do have to walk the walk. To be a Legend of the Expanse is to be remembered as someone who did grand things, be they good or bad, the kind of people who end up in history books. If your character has an ego or simply has grand ambitions, then this is a great alternative career for you. Navis Scions are the Navigator alternative career for rank 1 or higher. A Navis Scion is someone who's not mutated enough, so they got given extra education and training. Their job is to act as ambassadors for the Navigator House. As such, they are well accepted within high society. For Orcs, we have 2 alternative careers. Firstly, we have the Commando at ranks 4 and above. They're the stealthy purple orcs you never see coming, and are experts of stealth combat. The second is the Mech Boy, or the closest thing the orcs have to an engineer. They make the orc weapons and vehicles, so they can be very handy in a pinch if you need something jury-rigged. At rank 1 or above for Astropaths, there is the Transubstantial Initiate. Those psychers who decided that they should do more than simply frame messages, but should also take a more active role in spreading the Emperor's will. They display their blindness proudly, and often broadcast scripture into the warp to try and combat the ruinous powers. Torchbearers are missionaries at rank 2 or above who have decided to help spread the word of the Emperor to those in the darkness beyond the Imperium. Rather than a loud zealot, these faithful go to primitive worlds and work from the shadows to convert the populace to the Imperial doctrine and Emperor worship. Oftentimes they never make it home, their work usually taking years or decades. The last of the alternative careers in the supplement is the Xenographer. The only requirement for this one is to be human, and can be taken at ranks 2 or higher. Xenographers are basically the xenophiles of the Imperium, actively trying to learn about and from Xenos, be they living or dead. Often when encountering a Xenos, a Xenographer is the best bet of everything ending peacefully for everyone involved. While Into the Storm does include a lot of weapons and gear, I would be here all day if I tried to list them all, so I'll just say that Into the Storm is the only supplement to include force fields, and it contains a lot of Xenos items as well. Into the Storm includes 2 new special things for ships, aside from a bunch of components that me and my party have found to be almost essential when designing a ship. The first special thing is the ship background system. Basically, you can spend a few ship points to give your ship a few special abilities or modifications when you get it. These can range from being a former Reaver ship, optimized for stealth, to being an ancient ship rediscovered, coming pre-equipped with Archaeotech components. The second special thing is ship upgrades. These can be bought like regular gear. These things can range from improving living conditions for the crew to getting nuclear warheads to use in your macro cannons. A homebrew one me and my GM worked out was a custom Cherub Airy, where instead of cherubs it was Tau drones, giving all the bonuses without the morale penalty for having flying baby corpse drones. Now while I suck at talking about these things without it sounding like a list, I'm going to try and paint a picture of why this book will be a valuable addition to your game. Into the Storm is for those looking for something new and outside the norm. Despite everything I've talked about, there is so much more I haven't mentioned just because I want it to be something you discover on your own. Into the Storm is the largest supplement for Rogue Trader because it comes with the most new things to try and explore. So if you're starting a second campaign or the current one is getting a little stale, maybe try picking it up. You're sure to find something you love in here that would be a blast to experience and interact with in the game. As this is the end of the video, I'm sure most of you are about to click away now. For those of you who made it this far, thank you, it means a lot. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and maybe even subscribing, as your support goes a long way to helping me make these videos. If you want more, I stream weekly on Wednesdays from 4 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on twitch.tv/BrotherCenterX. I also have a public Discord server, link in the description below. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for watching, and take care out there.